we've got this solar panel in the window which powers this hub. I'm going to use this one for just this little demo. You can obviously use the ZR5 and that adds the wired inputs and outputs as well as just the wireless domain that we have here, but it doesn't make much difference as far as the alarm's concerned. Sorry about the noise, by the way, that's this machine working away, sorry about that. I'm going to add this bell. There's something really important to note about these bells. This may look, let me grab one. There they are. They're a Zigbee bell with a box like that. The solar panel powered. This one sits in my window. It's been fully charged since I put it there. It's not outside, it's just in my window. So actually I think the solar panels are probably quite effective. What you really must do with this though, when you add it, or at least when the first time you use it, make sure the USB is connected. If you don't do that, it will just lose connection to the hub. It's like a few minutes after you set it up. It's really strange, but we found it was really unreliable until we powered them up with that. I think they go into sleep mode, but you've got to power them up initially with the USB, or leave it to charge for a while with the USB whilst you're connecting it to the hub. So you just hold the button down for like 8 seconds or something. You'll see it starting to flash. It's in the app now. This other one, sounder, is just a sounder we have in the office. We'll use that later, but I'll turn the bell on just by clicking it, and you'll see it flashing away. As we're discovering stuff, I'll discover the keypad as well. Type in the admin code 1 2 3 4 5 6 followed by a hash, and then it's a 4210 hash. That's the command to get it to pair. And then we click on switches. We see there should be a new device there. It's got that code, the NYVAVZ, and it's given it the name keypad by default. You don't have to do anything with that. That's the only place it'll appear. It'll just appear in switches down the bottom. It doesn't appear as a separate box because effectively to the device it's just like an on-off switch. We're going to add one of these as well. There's already one on this door, so we'll just steal this one. Again, it's still in discover mode, so I just hold that for about 8 seconds and that puts it into pair mode. Just about lights up this somewhere, I think. Yeah, that's it, to show it's in pair mode. And it should be back in the app when we look. On the live screen then, what I would do if it's for an alarm system is firstly go to buttons. And I'd add a button called alarm on. Look, I've already typed it, look. So alarm on, add that one. And also I'd add an alarm off button. So I'd do this first. So we'll do alarm off this time. Don't fill anything else in, just that. Add. There we go, got an alarm on, alarm off button. Then I go to the functions, little wizards, functions, click on alarm system. This is much easier to do on a desktop because you can see the table fits nicer, but we'll persist with this so you don't get a sore neck. Now you should see, you'll see alarm on and alarm off. They're the buttons we just made. I'm going to add them. I'll add the alarm off to the disarm event. So what's in red there is the alarm on button on the live screen, and what's in green is the alarm off button. The disarm is that'll turn the alarm off basically. You'll also see if you click on alarm events, you'll see at the top here it's just keypad. It's not separate. It's not alarm on, alarm off. It's just keypad because the keypad is just like a switch. Now you only have to add it to the arm. Don't worry about it. You can put it in the disarm, but it'll just remove it anyway because you only need to add the keypad to the arm event. It knows what a keypad is. It knows that's the only place for it. Okay, and then so we have different things that cause the alarm to sound. We have, keep it simple for the moment. We have the trigger events. Now the trigger events, if it gets triggered, the alarm sounds. The entry events give you the opportunity, so there's a delay basically between the thing triggering, the entry event triggering, say like the door opening, and the alarm sounding, and that's to give you the opportunity to go and disarm the alarm inside the house or the property. So that's why we have trigger event and entry event, and by default it'll give you 30 seconds. You can see there it says 30 seconds for the entry event. This other thing here, the knocks, you might not really want the alarm to sound just because one thing has triggered the alarm system. So maybe one of your PIR detectors has just triggered the alarm system, but it might trigger all the time. You really want at least two things. So you might want a door to be opened and then also a PIR detector to be triggered. That's why we have the knock period. So the knock period by default is 5 minutes. So if it gets, say, 2 knocks in 5 minutes, then it'll sound the alarm. If it only gets 1, it won't sound the alarm. And after 5 minutes, it resets and goes back to the way it was. But we'll just leave that as 1 for the moment because we just want to see the alarm work. We'll keep it as simple as possible. We'll forget the entry event. As we trigger events, we've only got one thing set up, I think. We've only got that open sensor. You could also have the leak detector if you wanted, but no, we only want the open sensor. Now you can just keep going with these. You can use all the wired inputs. You can keep adding wireless sensors like the door open sensor or the open sensor. You keep adding PIR sensors and things like that. So you can have a big list of trigger events, and we'll just keep that as knock 1. So 1 activation sounds the alarm. Okay, and then we move on to the output. So what do we want to happen when the alarm sounds? Oh, by the way, you select that and you click on RT. So that's it. It's definitely there. So if it's in color, it means it's been set up. So we've got the on switch, the keypad. We disable it with the alarm off. We've got the open sensor set to 1 knock to trigger the alarm. Now we get to the action section. We leave that for 20 minutes for now, the action time. And we'll do 2 timed actions. In fact, we'll do 3. We want the sounder to ring. The sounder has its own internal timer currently at the moment set to less than 20 minutes. So that'll go off after a few seconds. But like that, you need to change that, by the way. My phone's got old CSS in. This is a bug we fixed already in the past. That's why it's all screwed up. We'll have to suffer it like that just for the moment. But anyway, it won't do that on your phone. It only does it on my phone. So then we'll also add the external bell. So we leave that on the timed as well. So there'll be 2 timed events. Like I say, that won't happen to you. You can see it. There they are. Look, if I hold it on its side, it shows it correctly. And we'll leave the light on, which we've got a light plugged into our smart socket. So if the alarm sounds, we leave that on and we won't turn it off until you come along and disarm the alarm. So we'll have that as well. Okay. Oh, by the way, and this mess here, by the way, you won't have that on your system. It's been fixed already. So we'll save that. We now have this new card for the alarm. If you click on the checkbox, unlike on the other things, that's just going to come up with a wizard. So you can actually do adjustments as to what messages you want and when by clicking the envelope icon. And there's the default messages. Alarm sound, alarm stopped. You get an SMS call, an email when the alarm sounds, and then you get an email when it's armed and disarmed if you choose to. You might want to click on the phone number and change that from iot-portal.com to pick out a number. In the UK, it's going to be fine, IoT Portal. Overseas, you're going to want to use a proper phone number, so we'll just get one from the list. I'll just pick one down here. That one I'll do, whichever one that one is. That means it's going to come from that number. Okay, and then we go into the users button. Now we can see I've already set up this phone number. It's in red, so it means something happens to it. It gets texts, calls, and doesn't send any emails. That's fine. In a couple of months, this page will slightly change in that's not going to just be where a text box here. You're going to be able to select things from a list, but for the moment, it's the text box. Now, the alarm system is a different letter. So Z is for the Zigbee devices, but we want lowercase a. If we want, that's for the set arm disarm notifications, is the lowercase a. And also we want uppercase A for the alarm system. Like I say, this box is getting quite complicated, and we've got a new version of this page where it's just a drop down list, and it populates that for you with the drop down list. But for the moment, it's like that. And likewise, we'll do a similar sort of thing here. We'll do a capital A, so it'll email me when there is an alarm activation, and then I'll just save that. So that person is called phone. One thing you might want to do as well, you probably don't want a message when the open sensor is activated. If you click on the checkbox for that, leave them free. Don't fill them in. If you're going to use the open sensor with the alarm system, don't tick the checkboxes. Because I've got the screen thing, we're going to have to hold it on the side to do that, by the way. So yeah, leave them unchecked. However, we want notifications from the leak detector. So we've got all the checkboxes there, and that's not part of the alarm system, so that's fine. I guess now we just try it. So we'll type in 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's the yeah, that's it. That's the code for the keypad, the default code. You've got to start from the door being shut. So it's no point in shutting the door, like having the door open, because obviously that's not going to work. So anyway, I've shut the door and now I open it. You can hear the sound is sounding. So the air conditioner just lying around there. And the lights on. And the bell's flashing. And that will carry on for 20 minutes, and that will carry on until we disable the alarm. So that's kind of useful. If your alarm sounds, then you can turn the lights on using one of those smart sockets. That's all that is. It's just a light connected to a smart socket. You could put that. You can basically do anything when the alarm sounds. What we'll do now is we'll disarm the alarm with the keypad, and that should go off.